Drake just torched DJ Khaled and made him cancel his album?
Now, as this has been one of the worst weeks for
Crazy.
Drake ever with everything going on in the music industry, it is no secret right now that Drake has never been more livid at the world, and with the hype around the Super Bowl and the outbursts that he has been having all throughout his new tour so far, it is very clear that Drake is only getting more angry at everything, and during this all-time low that Drake is at. For the first time in a while, Drake has been not afraid to express his anger in full, because while when it's people like Kendrick Lamar or LeBron James even, he only sneak disses them because when he calls out someone like Kendrick directly, he has seen just how bad that has went for him. This time
Oh
around, the
man.
person who has managed to anger Drake happens to be one of the few people in hip-hop and the entire music industry for that matter, that is even more pathetic than him. And now who I am of course talking about is none other than DJ Khaled. And now for Khaled, after trying to hype up his new album with the promise of 2 new Drake songs, which Drake wasn't happy about at all, Khaled has now ended up canceling his new album as a whole directly because of what Drake has said to him. But now before we go any further into this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And so now with Khaled,
Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, shout out Fantastic Hip Hop. Like my man channel, also like this channel. This is crazy, but DJ Khaled has been a snake. Everybody looks at him like a snake, and this is no different. Let's get into it, y'all.
and Drake. After a time in hip-hop where we saw the biggest beef ever, and from Kendrick to Drake and even other guys like Future, the lines in terms of where everyone stands in the genre have never been more divided and complicated, we are now seeing to the highest level just how far the effects are reaching of this beef, because now with DJ Khaled trying to release a new album, and of course, as Khaled can do nothing musically himself, his entire career and success relies on bringing together other rappers and artists to make these mega collaborations. Ultimately, with how bad the tensions are in rap, the release of Khaled's new album had to be cancelled nearly right after it was announced, because once again with DJ Khaled, he is managing to reach new lows and show just how pathetic and out of touch he is with everything but himself, because with Khaled's new album announcement, which featured a ridiculous trailer that was over 7 minutes long to roll it out, Khaled ended up creating so many problems in both the trailer.
I ain't gonna watch the trailer, but DJ Khaled, why do you think anybody wants to watch a 7-minute trailer of DJ Khaled? Anything that DJ Khaled's doing, a 7-minute trailer.
Itself and with the captions he followed it up with. Because for some strange reason, Khaled just thinks that he can be the force to bring everyone together in this time, because from mentioning Jeg and the Black album and maybe hinting at a feature from Hove, who has been on most Khaled albums in the past, to pretty much begging Rihanna for a feature, and then both in the ridiculously long caption and in the trailer saying he has 2 Drake records on this album, which he typed out to say that Drake is in the studio and back to work, so that means now that they are back together as well. All in all, with Khaled already teasing putting people together on this album who all themselves are not just at odds, but in the case of people like Drake and Jay and Drake and Rihanna have some serious beef, the presentation and optics of all of this already looks so bad off rip. And now, especially because Khaled put this out into the world, and one of the biggest things he was hyping up is that him and Drake were going to be putting out new music, which again, he made it a priority to put both in the trailer and in all the captions. While before Drake was able to respond, his fans were excited about the fact that Drake was going to be working with someone who has some sort of a presence in the actual music industry, as this would be the first big artist to welcome back Drake after the downfall we have all seen. Before anything else could further materialize, Drake responded back to Khaled's over-the-top announcement by saying that the Drake that must be featured on this album is Drake Bell, because it's definitely not him, which I'm not gonna lie was honestly pretty funny on Drake's end. And while after Drake did this at first, people thought he may have been kidding or leaning
That cooked dude. That cooked DJ Khaled. But I've been watching DJ Khaled since Ace Hood. DJ Khaled been doing people bad for a minute, yo. Everybody who ever dealt with DJ Khaled said they did him bad. T-Pain, Ace Hood, Drake, he switched sides back and forth. You get what I'm saying? Like, depending on who hot. Meek said what DJ Khaled did to Drake is the same thing DJ Khaled did to Meek, and Meek was about to hop on DJ Khaled head. He about to put some lumps on DJ Khaled head top. You know what I'm saying? DJ Khaled. But you gotta understand what he doing. He one of them DJs that he got to go around and try to get people to be on his album. So he's super Joe. He's a Joe dude. You get what I'm saying? And then dudes get cool with him because they finally do a track with him and they be like, all right, we cool. I'm going to let you kick it with me. Then it's like, yo, I need a favor from you. Everybody who said they ever needed a favor back from DJ Khaled, he always ghosts them. Like he one of them he one of them people that like you help him get on that level, then once they on that level and they don't need you, he gonna ghost you. Every time. This is his character. This is just what he's been doing over the course of his life, over history. It is what it is. I mean, I ain't knocking it. I mean, that's how he operates.
Into the idea that he has been kicked out of industry circles like Khaled's, which, as we have seen on his most recent tour, he is leaning into, despite the fact that this really isn't a joke and Drake has pretty much made everyone angry and done with him. No matter what people thought, very soon we quickly found out that Drake was not kidding and he was 100% serious about what he said, as Khaled ended up removing every single announcement and trailer he made about this new album, and as Khaled has went so silent and usually he is known for being loud and obnoxious in the most annoying ways, it was made very clear that this is no longer part of the rollout, and now this record has either been straight up cancelled, or because of what Drake said, it is at least being delayed, as the two songs that Khaled was most excited about seemingly have been erased. And so now with all of this situation is just wild, because seemingly with Drake responding to Khaled's claims by saying it must not be him who is on this record, and we know that this is serious because again, it made Khaled take down the entire post and announcement. Virtually what Drake has done is tell Khaled that he will never work with him again, which has now managed to make nobody's favorite producer cancel his entire record that nobody ever asked for. And now when it comes to Drake doing this, it is showing us at least that some lyrics from his diss tracks have aged kind of okay, because he did say that he was no longer going to be giving out features after this beef, and now no matter how wrong Drake may have been to people like Future and Metro, or Kendrick for that matter, and no matter how bad he lost at the end of everything, for a clout chaser and wave rider like DJ Khaled to now want to use Drake to hype your album up, and yet you were silent in the time where Drake could have used anyone with a presence in hip-hop, especially to help him out and support him, and of course, as we all saw, Khaled did nothing. Even in this time where Drake has never looked worse, with what we are currently seeing and what just happened, we are seeing that for every big loser like Drake, there is always a bigger one that will come around when we least expect it, like Khaled. Because with what he is doing here, from the fact that you think a Drake feature in 2025 is worth something, to the fact that you were using him to prop up your album after you did nothing in this time where he just asked one person to help him out. No matter which angle you want to look at this from, to be so desperate for a Drake feature that you literally filmed a scene for your album trailer where you were talking about it, and then after Drake called you out, you canceled your entire album, as seemingly whatever desperate play you had to try and recruit Drake for this project did not work out as planned. Overall, this whole situation is reaching new levels of desperation, and in this time where Drake has been the biggest loser in rap, the fact that somebody in Khaled, of course, actually made him look like he has ground to stand on. I mean, for Khaled, this is just telling the world how washed you are, and how even after everything in rap, from the sound to who you can work with together, has changed. The fact that you can't think of a single new thing to do and are still trying to get a hit from Drake, which even on your past albums before this beef, is something that has not worked out since the Major Key album with For Free, which was almost a decade ago. I mean, from every single way you can think about this situation possible, what was Khaled even expecting to get out of all of this? Because I mean, no matter how silent you try and stay and how you try to be friendly with everyone, from your connections or really past connections, because nobody wants to work with you at this point, with people like Jay, Rick Ross, Rihanna, to even Future, and then of course Drake. I mean, just from the optics, trying to use Drake and Rihanna as the lead features off your album, I'm sure it just made both of them never want to work with you again, because in the entire landscape of music and hip-hop, there are just so many beefs that not all of these people are going to want to run around together on your mid-album, especially in 2025. And if Drake is publicly saying that he is going to have nothing to do with this record and now Khaled has canceled the whole thing, I mean, the fact that Khaled put this into an official release and trailer, did this mean that Khaled just lied about ever having Drake songs and thought that Drake was so desperate at this point to work with anybody that he would have just ran to his name? Or was
I would say no. I would say no. I can answer that for you. I would say no. So Khaled and Drake, 9 times out of 10, when they make music, they make multiple songs. Everybody makes multiple songs. If we're gonna lock in, if we're around each other all the time, we're gonna make multiple songs. We're gonna make tens of songs, maybe even hundreds, if we're around each other long enough. But I'm sure Khaled probably got like 10 Drake songs, at least 10 to 15 Drake songs in the cut that he can't release or do nothing with without Drake's permission, and Drake probably has access to those songs also in case he wants to do something with the songs. So I wouldn't say that Khaled necessarily can do whatever he wants with the music, but I'm sure he has at least 15 Drake songs that if he has the permission, he can release. Cause all you need to do is just be in the same studio and maybe get it done, get something done by your producer on the track, and then it's partly your track too. And that's how those things tend to work. Now with DJ Khaled, he did everybody that ever dealt with him so bad between Ace Hood, T Pain, the list goes on. You got Wayne who came out at one point. Just anybody who ever dealt with DJ Khaled. Meek Mill had the same problem with DJ Khaled when he was going through a hard time. Drake, like it's like yo, you always try and be a flea and hop on the big dogs when you need them, but then like they can't ask you for no favors, or they can't even get a tweet out you if they need you. Like you just stay impartial to everything. Even even when stuff was going down in Palestine, he was quiet. So like you gotta look at this dude and just say that's who you is, man. All right, so it's your boy What's Up Jay. Don't forget to drop a like, comment, subscribe. If ain't nobody said they love y'all today, I love y'all. I'm out, y'all.